Broker Bulletin acknowledges the traditional custodians of all the lands across the country on which we record our podcast and pays its respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Welcome to the Broker Bulletin podcast, where better begins. Join us as we chat with brokers about what's working for them, what drives them, and the real challenges and wins that matter most right now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Broker Bulletin. I'm Natalie Viney. Welcome to the show, Diana.
Thank you.
So this is my very first episode that I'm hosting of Broker Bulletin. Awesome. And when I was asked who I would like to have as a guest, I automatically thought of you, Diana.
Thank you so much. I'm honoured.
And I definitely think that in the last 12 months, you've built a great presence within social media and you've actually doubled your volume in the last 12 months.
Yes.
So I'm really keen to unpack that in a little bit more detail and tell the audience how you've succeeded with that.
Absolutely.
I noticed in your Instagram bio, you refer to yourself as a mortgage architect.
Yeah.
This is such a unique way to position yourself in a room full of like advisors and brokers. Can you tell us a little bit more about the philosophy behind that name?
Yeah, well, architects effectively plan and design. Okay. And that's what we like to do for our clients. So when I'm working with my clients, I like to plan based on their goals and then design lending structures around that. So that's why I found it really, really fitting to refer myself as a mortgage architect, because I'm more than a broker. I really architect and I design things for my clients so that they can scale and continue to grow in a way that best suits them.
That's great. So you don't have a degree in architecture?
No, I'm not an architect in the traditional sense, but I'm an architect in the lending sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Some people stumble into broking from other areas of the finance world. I know how you started off, but could you tell us a little bit more about how you came into broking and what was the moment that you realized that you wanted to be a broker?
Well, it's really funny because I never had like an aha moment, like, oh, I want to be a mortgage broker. Like I actually didn't know what a mortgage broker was. Like I just thought, oh, broker, but it was more so like I worked at a bank since I was 17 years old. So I was at the bank for quite a long time. And then when I entered lending, I realized that clients weren't really getting solutions that suited for them. Like if I had a client who was self-employed but didn't fit this specific bank's policy that I was with, then I just couldn't help them. Yeah. And I had to be like, oh, sorry, like we can't help you. And it was like really awkward and the poor client couldn't get any help. And I was like, there has to be something more than this. And there has to be a way where A, I can help them fit in with a lender that they will be able to work with. And B, I can actually design things for them because where I was located with the bank, it was a really high income demographic. So it was in a really good suburb. But these clients had no idea. And I was just kind of stumbling in, just give me the loan, sign the paper, and that was it. For me, I wanted to look at an avenue where I could A, help them, like I said, fit in with a better lender, and B, at the same time, I could design, like an architect, I could design things for them to help them grow and reach their goals. And it's so funny because, my husband and I got married in COVID. The business effectively operates as my husband, Jaff, and I, and Jaff was already a mortgage broker and I was like, oh, that sounds like really good. So I really did the unthinkable thing that most people do. Most people were like holding on to their jobs for dear lives in COVID. I just left my job. I was like, no, I'm leaving my job. I had no broker experience. I had no idea how to run a business. He had he was employed. So I guess business background must come naturally to us or something, or to him, because we're like, do you know what? Let me just leave my job. I had no backing. We just got married and it was COVID. And then we did that. I left my job. And we started broking together. We started our business and we learnt from there.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the structure of your business, how many staff you have and where you're located as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're based in Alexandria. We have a team. So it's my husband and I. We really operate our own domains within the business, like day to day. And we have a team currently of around 7. Which this time last year, we had a team of like 2, I think. We currently got a team of 7.
What's his role in the business?
He manages all the businessy stuff, staff members, day-to-day operations, everything to do with like running the business itself is really, really Jaff. That's his domain. Because when we first started, we were both like just trying to do everything. And it didn't work out. We were both trying to be in the business and things weren't working. So we're like, well, we need to be more on the business and we need to have separate roles on the business too. That way he's focusing on something, I'm focusing on something else, and we're able to continue growing and scaling the business in that way. Yeah. And that's how we found it best worked for us. So it's like he's got his roles, which is mostly operations and whatnot. And then I've got my roles, which is marketing and being the broker as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any other brokers writing currently in the business?
Currently, I'm the only broker writing in the business, which is something we'd like to change within the next 6 to 12 months. It is definitely a goal of ours to start adding adding brokers on to our team, so we can really start to expand. But yeah, at the moment, it is just me. Jaff is a broker. However, I write most of the business.
How do you find then the dynamic of having a husband and wife team and then also being together working as owners of a business? How do you find that balance or even separating the two roles?
Like I mentioned, it's a big help to have our own responsibilities within the business. So then that way when we're at work and we're not clashing on anything and everything's just really clear. Like it's like a business partnership when we're at work.
Yeah.
We don't really have a problem with taking work home. We're business owners at the end of the day. Like we're of course going to take work home. Even people who don't work with their husband or wife take work home. You know? So because we're so passionate about our business and we want it to grow and we have this vision for it, it's not an issue for us. Like, yeah, we chat about work on the dinner table. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I guess drawing the line sometimes or having that one night or that one day a week where we're like, hey, let's just like try not to talk about work for a few hours. Let's just be us. Let's just do family things and what we enjoy doing. We do try to integrate that in our week so we have that balance and separation. But at the same time, some weeks it doesn't happen and it's really not a problem for us because we have a common goal and we want to achieve that goal.
You mentioned that you're based in Alexandria.
Yeah.
Do most of your clients reside in Alexandria or in the local area, or do you have clients from everywhere?
Clients are really everywhere. Sydney based, but at the same time, we service all of Australia. So we do have clients in Brisbane and we do have clients in Perth and we do have clients all over Australia.
Yeah.
Our business isn't specific to Alexandria. It's really Australia-wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get most of your leads?
Yeah, for sure. So we have a mix. My favorite way of getting leads is, so this answer might surprise you, my favorite way of getting leads is customers referring their friends and family to me because that means my team killed it. Like we absolutely smashed it. They're happy enough with our service to be able to tell their friend or family member to come to us and like kind of put almost their name on the line with a referral. So that's my absolute favorite way of getting business, and it is a big way we get business. But at the same time, over the last 12 months, we've really grown and developed a skill towards acquiring clients through our online channels. So being social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. We get a big chunk of our acquisition of our clients through our social media channels for sure.
Yeah. And when did you start tapping into that social media, I guess, as a tool to create that lead generation piece?
Yeah. So we started with it. Like I started posting consistently probably around 12 months ago. My first videos were like really dodgy, like crappy looking, like they didn't look the best.
Yeah.
So my first videos weren't the prettiest. But from there on, I kind of learned the skill and developed the ability to be able to make the video look better, start posting more consistently. So I was at 1 a day. Now I'm at 2 a day. But during that time, most importantly, during the last 12 months of us developing this, I just developed a love towards educating people online because I'm an educator in essence. Like I love teaching people things. So I was like, do you know what? I really like this because I feel like I'm teaching people. And then off the back of financial literacy, teaching people, having a passion towards that, I feel like the lead generation came through. Whereas when it was like, oh, I just have to post a video, I just have to get this up today and I've just, slap together whatever I think, or I'll try and, look at what somebody else is doing, and it never worked for me.
Yeah.
And it felt a bit unauthentic and it just wasn't really what I like doing. And maybe that translates in the early on videos when you're trying to figure things out. But what I found for me, like I said, works most effectively is the love that I have for teaching people financial literacy. And then I kind of translated that into my videos. So I'm really, really heavy on the education. And that's probably my first love. And then my second love would be obviously the leads we get off the back of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really important to do something that you enjoy doing and something that you're passionate about because it really resonates and it obviously comes through on camera.
It really
as
does.
well.
Like you can actually see that this is like really put on. It's like sometimes it looks really awkward or uncomfortable versus when people are really comfortable in front of the camera, it's because they're actually trying to deliver an authentic message.
Yeah. So you talked about, I guess, your first videos. What would you say is something that you might have learned from, starting to do that video content that you can share with the audience around, I guess, something that you learnt for the better.
Yeah, so it would be find a message that resonates with you, and then figure out a way to deliver that to people. So make sure that the message you're delivering is actually something important to you. And then find the best way to be able to educate people based off of that. Don't just say something for the sake of saying something, and not, maybe you don't actually understand it. You don't understand, the full depth of it. You're just trying to get views. It's not going to work that way because it delivers on the other side of the camera. It's really obvious to the viewer. Find something that resonates with you and just go hard on that.
So how do you find, I guess, the energy and the creativity to be able to now post multiple times a day to find that content and be quite consistent with that?
Because I enjoy it. I see like what works on my page and what people have enjoyed and interacted with. And then I create more angles off of that. Like, how can I explain this better to somebody? How can I make this message clearer? What are people enjoying watching of mine? And just make more of that. And then it's really just an essential part of my week that I've integrated, and I have to do it. Like, whether I like it or not, I have to.
Do you have a dedicated time slot or in the calendar? Would you say, the first 2 hours of a
absolutely.
Wednesday morning or something?
That's exactly what my timing is.
Wow.
It's Wednesday mornings. And I've prepared everything. I know what I'm doing, and I get in there and I make sure all my filming's done. For sure.
Okay. And does someone help you with that?
Yeah, I do have a marketing team where they'll help record, edit, look at my concepts, see what's working. So I do have a marketing team at the moment who are helping me. Yeah.
Well, that definitely helps. You don't have to do everything yourself. So can you tell me a little bit more? You've just mentioned about Wednesday morning block out for content creation. Can you tell me a little bit more about your typical week and what that looks like? Is it quite structured, or how does that work?
So Mondays. So I do like my weeks to be structured because I'm just a structured personality. So on Mondays, it's really setting the team up for the week, setting our goals up and knowing, where we're heading this week. And then from Tuesdays to Thursdays are really similar. So getting approvals in, game plans, client conversations, really just moving the needle from Tuesdays to Thursdays. And then Friday is like a wrap up of our week. So what we've achieved this week, like I like to celebrate the wins with the team, what we've achieved, what approvals we've achieved, what we've got through, and then wrap up and see, okay, like I will then see on my end, what do I need to focus on? Jaff and I will sit down and say, what do we need to focus on for next week? So then when Monday morning comes, we're just ready to go again.
So do you have weekly meetings with your
Mondays
with your team? Every Monday.
Mondays, and then we like wrap it up on a Friday.
And how do you celebrate some of those wins?
Like sometimes I'll get my team members a voucher. Jeff just got it the other week, just to say thanks, or just to say, good job, keep going. Other times it's just like awesome, like good work. And then sometimes we might have a lunch, we get coffees in the morning. So we really just change it up. And obviously it depends on like the level of achievement too. If it's something that's worth really celebrating, then the reward or whatever it is that we're doing is going to be equivalent to that celebration.
So you said that you're looking to expand the team in the next 12 months. What would be your next hire, do you think?
A broker.
What attributes would you like that broker to have?
Good at selling.
Good at selling.
Yeah, they have to be good at selling. They have to understand their policies, but also just really committed and dedicated and customer first, customer centric. Because if you're customer first, the sales part I find comes easy, and being able to help the client get over the line, if you're customer first, is really, really easy. So to answer that would probably be customer first, selling second, and then the rest will come after that.
I guess that selling piece, would you say that you have a particular niche or anything that you look to target with your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So we help everybody. We don't say no. Like if I had a first home buyer calling me tomorrow, I'm not going to shut the phone in their face. So we're happy to help everybody. But in saying that, we have gravitated really, really naturally towards, high income earners, particularly high income earners who are looking to grow and expand their wealth and their portfolios and do, look at their retirement, all these sorts of things. So it would be definitely high income earners are our niche client.
And as you mentioned, you have a lot of clients all around Australia.
Yeah.
So have you seen that you've had a particular, I guess, area that has come to you, or?
No, it's interestingly really spread out. So it's not like we only get clients from like Vaucluse.
Yeah.
You know, it's high income earners everywhere. They just like to live where they like to live. Maybe they grew up there. Maybe they like the lifestyle in that certain particular area. So it's really not area focused. It's more so like person focused.
Yeah.
And then wherever they are, they find their way to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no particular occupation or anything that you niche down to?
Professionals. So it'd be professionals. We get lots of like CEOs, IT professionals, people who are executives within companies. They're our type of clients. If you're earning lots of money, you're probably going to come to us.
What would you say, I guess, in terms of going back to the social media client acquisition strategy that you have?
Yeah.
Have you seen a significant uptake in terms of the lead generation that comes from there with, I guess, volume settled? Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
For sure. Absolutely. I'll give you backstory first, and then I'll kind of get into the social media aspect. So when we first started our business, the model back then was get a referral partner, right? It was get a referral partner, get a real estate agent, get an accountant, and they're going to send you lots of business, right? Which is amazing. It worked for a lot of people for a long time. I found it really easy to sign up referral partners. Like at any given moment, I had 7 referral partners because I could just get on the phone, sign them. Like it was very easy for me to get them across the line, easy as. But where Jeff and I struggled was getting the referral partners to send us business. Okay. That was like really, really hard for us. We'd do lunches, we'd attend morning meetings every single Monday morning. We'd be at a real estate agent's office attending their sales meeting. We did all the things that were in the book to do. The book on getting referral partners and getting them to send you business, we did everything in that book. And it probably took us a little bit too long to recognize it wasn't working. We kind of blamed ourselves to think that we should be doing more and there's something here and it's us. And Whereas we learned pretty quickly after we started to post videos online that maybe that just wasn't the right model for us. It could be the right model for lots of people, even today in a social media age. Like it could still be the right model for lots of people. For whatever reason, it didn't work for us. In saying that, we still do have referral partners, but we don't rely heavily on that piece. Our main piece is social media. And since being on social media and being able to show people our knowledge and showcase how we help our clients and showcase all these things that we're really, really good at, absolutely it's helped our business grow quite exponentially.
How much of a percentage would you say that your business has grown in the last 12 months?
So I actually don't want to put our growth all down to social media, because our growth has come from, yes, absolutely social media, but also our growth mindset and our shift in the way we view business has changed too, because we went from being absolute doers in the business and wanting to be able to being in the business all the time to shifting that focus to say, hey, we need to spend some time on the business. And that like it takes a bit of a hit, like they call it the J curve, because you take a hit at first because you're taking a revenue hit, you're starting to pay staff that you don't feel really like it's the first time you say you're paying a salary of 70, 80, 90,000, you know, whatever the salary is. So at first it does feel a bit uncomfortable. So it's just, it was a few shifts, social media being one of the big ones, but also our mindset and our growth mindset, also another massive shift. From a percentage perspective, how much we've grown in the last 12 months, at least 200%.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you have any inspiration or anything that you looked to from, you know, other brokers, what content they were producing, or what was the real catalyst for you to get into social media?
No offense to other brokers, but there was nobody that absolutely inspired us. It was probably more so business people or entrepreneurs online who we saw the way that they ran their marketing. We saw the way that they'd educate people that were like, hey, we really like the way they do that. You know, maybe we can try implementing something like that and see if that helps and works. So it wasn't necessarily other mortgage brokers. It was more so other business people online that we looked at and we enjoyed their content and the way they delivered things. So we kind of took inspiration from that.
Yeah. And do you pay for sponsored posts, ads, things like that? Or is it mostly just content that you produce that organically brings attention in?
We do have a mix of paid and organic. So we do lots of organic and we have paid as well. So it's both of them.
Have you found that, I guess, they both work equally as well, depending on the topic, or?
Organic's just a slower burn naturally, but the people who find you organically are warmer leads, kind of ready to convert. Whereas paid is a faster model, like in terms of you get a lead faster, but it's a slower burn with a paid lead. That's what we've learned.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And in terms of your following, how many Instagram followers do you have?
We're almost at 12,000. So we're at 11.9 today.
Yeah.
So we
And
better
growing.
be at 12 by the end of the week.
Yeah. Everyone follow Diana. I'm just going to shift gears a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you tell me a little bit what it's like being, firstly, a female in a male-dominated industry?
Yeah.
And actually starting off quite young in your business, having a business, being a broker in that business.
Yeah.
Have you found, I guess, some potential roadblocks or challenges that had to overcome with that? Or is there anything that I guess you can share with the audience around what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So I never have a problem, like female in a male-dominated industry, like no issue with that. That's no problem for me whatsoever. More so when when I first entered the industry, I think I was like as a broker, I think I was 21 to 22 years old. I never found issue with like an issue from a customer perspective in gaining authority and in being trustworthy. Like that's really easy for me. That's always come super naturally to me. Like, I've always had to be so independent from such a young age. Like I've never had people speak on my behalf. I've just never had that.
Yeah.
So it's always, that never like shakes me or rattles me at all. But it was more so from a business and growth perspective and understanding what to do that I found really difficult in terms of getting advice from people. Like, I would ask another broker for help, or I'd say, how do you do X, Y, and Z? And some people might be like reluctant to share that. Like that's what I found at the start. People were reluctant to share how they were growing their businesses. Some people tell me that it's their intellectual property, and like I'd get really funny answers.
Okay.
So that's what I really struggled with at the start, is getting the knowledge and understanding of how to make the business grow. And then Jaff and I were like, we really can't rely on anybody because nobody seems to be wanting to help us to be able to like grow our business. So then we just taught ourselves. We really just taught ourselves from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting because there's 20,000 brokers out there and there's plenty of business obviously to go around.
Yeah.
And everyone operates in, different areas, different niches, things like that. It's interesting that you say that some people are a little bit
reluctant
gatekeeping of the way, because I guess in terms of everyone knows about social media and everyone knows that that's a lead, generation tool that can be used.
Yeah.
But I think what you've done in terms of really implementing that and being consistent, going hard in terms of showing up and actually doing it.
100%.
That's, I guess, the other piece that a lot of people don't actually find that they execute to. So I think it's you being authentically you, and then also being consistent. I guess that's half the battle.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah, that's what I found too.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what your plans are for the next 12 months? I know that we touch base every month in our monthly check-ins as what you would like to do with the business, but can you tell the audience a little bit more about that?
We'd like to 5x our business in the next 12 months. Yeah. That's ultimately our plan. So our book, our team, like everything, we really, really want to 5x it in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So more settlement volume, additional staff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that you have the capacity to be able to take on additional brokers, additional staff, that you have the room?
We find out. We'll find out. We'll just see how we go. Like, as you start, you set these big ambitious goals, and then as you start heading towards these big ambitious goals, you might think, okay, maybe that's not actually the goal I wanted. Maybe that's not going to be right for us and what we want. But you just have to set the goal and then start working towards it. And then this is what we find works best for us. Figure it out along the way. Try to be as prepared as possible, but obviously challenges are going to arise and you have to just start to figure things out. Things might not be what you expected them to be, and then you just pivot from there. Like if I say today 5x and then we start the process of 5x and we're like, hey, this really sucks, maybe we just want a 2 or 3x and leave it there, then we just pivot and change the plan. So
it's adaptable.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like I don't set a goal and say, live or die, this is a goal I have to reach. It's like, well, this isn't really working for us, we don't like it, let's change it a little bit.
Awesome. Well, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the next 12 months brings for you, Jaff, and your business.
Absolutely. If you're looking to start a social media platform, or you're on there at the moment, like I said, just be consistent at posting, but find something that's authentic to you and then go at that. And don't be afraid to change plans. Like, it's no big deal. People just, like, I've learned to stop, like, know when to stop flogging a dead horse. Like, if something's not working for you and you've tried it for like 3 months, 6 months, it's not you. It's probably just the plan is not right for you. So it's okay to change it and just pivot and adapt and find something else that, you know, that might work for you.
That works.
Yeah.
Have you found that you identify I guess, when to pivot, or do you rely on other people to tell you that?
We spent a long time without realizing when to pivot early on in our business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of that, we're very mindful now to say, like, we'll pull each other up, Jaff and I, and say, hey, look, is this working or not? Like, do we need to change it? You know, what's happening? Rather than letting something go for so long and not actually work. Because of those early days, we felt it took us so long to grow. Because of that experience, it's kind of taught us to know, you know, when to pull each other up or when to pull ourselves up, and know when to change plans.
At Broker Bulletin, we're all about finding those 1% improvements that leads to big wins. What's something small that you do every day that has the biggest impact on your performance?
I like to start my day off with the 3 M's: mindset, mindfulness, and movement. So that looks like me going for a walk in the morning, you know, spending some time with my family and doing some, you know, deep breathing, meditation, or just getting my mindset really, really right for the day. And if I do that every single morning, and the mornings I do it and the mornings I don't do it, I see like a big difference in my day. Something so simple as just getting up, going for a walk, have a glass of water, spend that nice morning with your family, have breakfast. That something so simple just really, really sets me up for the day.
So to wrap up, my biggest takeaway from today's conversation with yourself, Diana, is that always trying something new all the time, and trying something, learning to pivot, and then building upon that is something that I guess, really resonates with me. And then also not being afraid to put yourself out there. Obviously, it's paid dividends for you.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the next 12 months of your business and how that's going to evolve and grow. And I'm really happy to be a part of that journey with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks so much for listening. If you have a topic that you want us to discuss, please email us at brokerbulletin@lmg.broker or DM us on Instagram at lmg.broker, and our producer will make sure we answer ASAP. If you like this episode, make sure you rate us and follow us on your favorite podcast store.
Thanks for tuning in to Broker Bulletin. We would hate for you to miss an episode. Subscribe to Broker Bulletin in your favourite podcast app. Has this episode been helpful? We'd love you to rate and review us. It'll help us deliver content that's useful to you and help others discover us. If you have great ideas for topics worth tackling or have burning questions you'd like addressed on an upcoming episode, reach out. Links in the show notes. See you next time.